I thought it'd be interesting to have somebody else's viewpoint or vantage point than my own. Mr. Cisco is a little bit older than me, so he can give you some more background. He also, you lived in Norristown pretty much your whole life?
Well,
pretty much his whole life, so I'm not from Norristown. I can't give you a perspective of Italian culture in Norristown as well as he probably could. Mr. Santangelo was supposed to come down too. I'll call him. Mr. Santangelo also grew up in Norristown, went to Norristown High School, still lives in the area, so he can give you his vantage point. What we're going to do today is he'll give you some background, talk about Italian heritage in general. Also, Mr. Cisco's been kind enough to try and put together dinner for us. It'll be paid for. It'll be Italian, done it all in Italian. All right. So I think that'll be something that we want to do. We wanted to do it last year. We couldn't do it. Try and get it done this year. And then when we're finished, I have an assignment, not an assignment, but a project for you guys to do. I want you to research your own family. I want you to talk to your parents, talk to your grandparents, aunts, uncles. I want to know how you ended up here in Norristown. Who came over first? Did they come directly from another country? Have you been here for centuries? Most of you probably haven't, your family. Why did they come to Norristown, of all places? Why they up in Norristown? And why are they still here? So that's some of the things we're going to talk about today. I'll hand it over to Mr. Cisco.
Well, you caught me cold here. You just asked me to come in and talk about my Italian heritage and also about Italians in Norristown. So I didn't do any research. The only thing I tell you that I'm very much interested. If you're interested in researching and following through about Italians here in Norristown, not only in Norristown but all over. And my experience, my parents were born in Sicily, which is the boot right there. It looks like a football. The Italian boot is kicking the football, so the football is Sicily. And Sicilians are a little different. I had the opportunity to visit Sicily. I've been in Italy 2 times. I went Italy north and Italy south. Italy north from Rome, and then Italy south, and I went to Sicily. So there's so much history about Italy itself. But I wanted to go to Sicily to see where my parents were born there, and where my parents, where they were married, where they, what stores they went to, and all. And it was interesting to find out. And I went with my wife, and went up this mountain by car, and it's called the San Galogero, which is, I think it's St. Charles. And so we're going on. My wife said to me, says, "Wow," he says, "it's a beautiful run up the mountainside." I went, how did they get? They didn't have no car. They used to walk. They used to walk up that mountain to go to church every Sunday, you know. So I don't know. That was, but the food was great. I'm a former police officer in Norristown. I was 24 years Norristown police officer. And then I retired from Norristown Police Department, and I joined the District Attorney's Office as a county detective. And I involved with the International Police Association. That's a worldwide police organization. And we work together, like when there's visiting police officers come from Italy, or every different country, Germany, Africa, they all came. When they come to Norristown to visit, or Philadelphia, then we play host, and I take them around, show them around. So when I went to Italy, the police met me, you know, took me to different places where the tour wouldn't take me. And the food in Sicily was a little bit different. My relations, I made a contact with my oldest sister, made a contact. All my relations in Sicily are all rich. You know, I think all the poor ones came to the United States. But one owned a big liquor store, but like when I went there, he was in Russia buying vodka. The other one had a big Fiat agency. The other was a brain surgeon. He was up in Milan, you know. And so they just treated us good. But what was different about Sicily, that and then we stayed at his big apartment complex, beautiful place. And his car was parked outside his apartment. And in the morning, went out and all this like light sand laying over the car. Like, I don't know if you've ever been down Wildwater, and when the wind blows, the sand blows all over, it gets all over everywhere. And so I said to him, I says, well, wait a minute, we're about a mile inland from the Mediterranean. I said, you know, I didn't see no sand here. Well, what happens, he tells me, that certain parts of terms of the year, the sands from the Africa, from the Sahara Desert, winds and winds around, and then it kind of lands over on Italy. And that's why on Sicily, or mostly Sicily, their crop is so fertile, you know. So I said, it's great, you know. The olives, orange, lemons, and all, you know, it's great. Then I went to Venice, you know, the gondolas, you know, the guys sing O Sole Mio, you know. It's great. It's so strange if you ever get the opportunity to go to Venice, to just think, there's no cars, everything's boat, you know. We flew in, and if you ever go, and you tell your travel agent that you don't want to spend all your time in a bus, going from one city to another. Like some people come from Italy, and they say, oh, I want to see Pittsburgh, oh, I want to see New York, I want to, you know. Well, you spend all your time in a bus. So you want to make sure you see the different cities and not spend too much time going from one place to another. But I flew in to Rome, didn't even leave the airport, get a smaller plane, fly into Venice. Venice, the airport's right near the canal. Get in the boat. Boat takes you right to the front of the hotel. Get in the hotel, you know, and then everything is ferrying. The small boats take you here and there. But that's the visit over there. But in Norristown, we have, you know, I guess we have very people that made it in Norristown were the Tonettas, real estate, the Mirables, beer distributors. They all became very, very Gennardis, the Volpes with the transfer. So you have a lot of different, but a lot of Italian contractors did a lot of work, you know. I don't know, I'd like to be part of your program here, and I thought, well, I'm the founder of the Columbus Monument out at Elmwood Park, which back in 1926, there was 12 Italian immigrants that said, hey, why don't we build a monument for Christopher Columbus? That was back in 1926. So what happened, they start collecting money, you know, going to build a monument for Christopher Columbus, right? At the corner of Sturger and Harding Boulevard. If you go by there, you see a fence, you see 3 flags. You see the Italian flag, American flag, and the Spanish flag. So I said, all right, you know, they were to build a monument. So what happened? 1929, the Depression hit. And so they said, hey, we give the money back, feed the poor. You know, everybody need the money. So I just happened, I was a motorcycle policeman at the time, so I used to go out there, was not too many places had air conditioning, and I would go under them trees and keep cool. And I saw this like a tombstone, and on that tombstone it said, on this site will be built a monument for Christopher Columbus. No date, that's it. So I happened to see it, I said, oh my God, I said, you know, why did they build it? So I checked with the Times Herald, and I find out that what happened, they were going to build it, but the Depression hit, give the money back. So I just put in the paper, I said, well, I think we're going to build it. So I put something in the paper, you know, put in the paper that going to build it. Next thing you know, people start sending money, you know. I said, whoa, you know. So I contacted the guy at the bank, good friend of mine. I said, look, open up a bank account. I did. So now you have a monument out there that's worth a good, I guess, $500,000 if you talk about labor and all. So I would like maybe, now each year we have a celebration. You know, we have either a judge or somebody comes in and talks. Some celebrities have been there. We've had senators and different people, and Italian. And so we just now, within the last 3 or 4 years, because of the architect that designed that was the one that designed for the astronauts. You see their logo. He's the one that, Panapito, a lot of history behind him. So, like I say, later on, if you want to get involved in that, you can do that. I have a little bit here about Italians in Pennsylvania, the thing that maybe it's just for your information. But the Italians are known for their cooking, right? Known for their cooking. How many like pizza, right? They like spaghetti and meatballs, ravioli, lasagna, right? Okay. I like food, right? You like food? Hey, Kuba, you like food? You manja? Good? You know what manja means? Means eat, right? Okay. In fact, tonight, I have a little group of guys, ex-cops, ex-chiefs of police, former chiefs, guys from attorney general. We meet up at the Greco-Romans, the Greek-Italian restaurant up there on Ridge Pike. And we meet about 40 guys, no agenda, you know, and we have it. We call it the Manjun Society, you know. I give it the society.
Society of eating.
So I was thinking,
A society of eating.
no, but so I have a collection of Italian police hats, all the different police hats, the Gabrielli, the guys in the mountains, the sea, you know, the whole different kind of hats. Beauty. One thing about European police officers in every country, their uniforms are really sharp, you know, different, and because I guess maybe a lot of Europeans are good tailors, you know. So I'd like to maybe inform you something about police, something about sports, some well-known Italian sports, boxing, baseball, Rocky. I would stay with Rocky Marciano. That's another thing, part of my life. I'm a former amateur professional fighter. I fought, you know, rough reed fights in Venezuela, and I was a stablemate of Rocky Marciano in New York. But I had fights every time I hit, I'd break a bone here, so the doctor says my bones were too brittle. But so I started teaching boxing. I started the first PAL in Norristown. But what I like to do, I can talk about our heritage. You know, I'm proud of our heritage. I think everybody should be proud of it, whatever nationality you are. You're going to be proud of what you are. I don't want to hear somebody say he's ashamed of his nationality. He shouldn't be. I don't want to hear that. You should be proud of your heritage, your mother, your father. Like I asked someone, you Italian? Yeah. Where's your father from? Oh, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You don't know where your father was born? Come on. So, I got a surprise. If you want me to be involved, and if you want to get involved, I talked to the senior suites. They have a nice cafeteria, okay? And I said, Italians are known for their food, right? They will treat this class a whole dinner, right? All Italian food, okay? Now, if you want to come up with some recipes, they'll cook it. They'll treat us, and then we can just have a good time, you know. Now, another thing is I have books I keep. It's called this. I think you did a little study here on the Sacco Vanzetti.
Yeah, we did.
That would be a good case to follow through, where two guys were indicted. You know, being a former policeman, sometimes we goof up a little bit, you know. And this is another one here about Italian writers, a little history. This is a landscape. Here's I don't know, an Italian astronaut, a woman astronaut. I didn't know it. We want to be proud of our heritage. I didn't know. Anybody want to be an astronaut here? No? You don't want to fly to the moon? And here's another one. Here's Tommy Lasorda, well-known, you know. Like to have him here someday. He's a graduate of Norristown High School, and also a lot of singers and race drivers, movie actors. There's Venice. But there's another book that I have. It's Italian American war heroes and whatever. It's a lot out there. But this book here is the most I enjoy. A lot of Italian humor, jokes, and stories. So, I got called me in here to do a little thing. I can help you. I can work along. It'll be a fun thing. Maybe get a little trip to Italy. Who knows? Somebody will pick up the tab for us. If we show the interest,
There's always money out there.
enthusiasm, we'll go for it. I don't care what nationality you are. You know, you want to go visit. You want to eat Italian. You want to sing. That's another thing, right? So that's about it.
Before, let's give a round of applause. And I obviously have a few questions. The class might have a few questions. The first question I have, again, I'm originally from Ambler. and I belong to an Italian American club in Ambler. And our club every year gives money to Italian Americans in the community as grants for college. Where could these kids in Norristown, what club do you think they could,
Well,
as far as that would
well,
supply
there's,
that?
there's different clubs, but right now I belong to Italian Heritage. That's a political, they're all politicians, and that's a political active group. Then there's a Campagna, that's an Italian group. That Campagna means the towns in and around Rome, like we say here, Montgomery County, all the towns in Montgomery County, and they're very active. They have a class every Tuesday on teaching Italian, and different nationalities are learning. So it's always good to learn another language, especially the wife and I went to Mexico, and we were down there and we had to go to the men's room, and we were looking. I go over to the store and say, well, I don't know. I didn't know how to say toilet. I didn't know how to say, so I'm in the army. I say latrine, whatever. So it's always good to learn. You learn how to say toilet in different languages. So to go there, because it becomes a problem.
Now your family, you said they came from Sicily.
Sicily,
Shaka.
right.
Was it Shaka?
Shaka, little sound.
What do you? How far?
Shaka
back?
is like Brooklyn in the United States, well known.
Was it your parents that came over, or your parents' parents?
Right.
It was your parents.
My father was a shoemaker, and my mother was a dressmaker. She made a lot of wedding gowns and stuff. I really don't know how my father and mother got together, because my mother was educated. She could read and write. A lot of people used to come to the house. You would write letters for them, And my father didn't. She used to read the papers to him, So it's a whole different ballgame.
Why did they choose Norristown?
Well,
anywhere to go in America, because a lot of times our students don't understand why they pick a certain place.
Well, they went. At first, they landed in Brooklyn. They lived in all my relations on my mother's side were in Brooklyn. All my father's side were over here in Norristown. So my mother said we'll go along with my father's in Norristown. But it was tough. It was tough through the Depression, Well, we had in Norristown sometimes the coal. We had the coal stove, and we couldn't afford a whole ton of coal, so I had to go get a wagon full of coal, So things were tough in Norristown years ago, but everybody worked together, Norristown's the county seat. There was about 4 or 5 Italian clubs. There was the LAN, which is Sons of Italy. You had the Market John Club. You had the MSS Club was formed because the Sicilians in that particular, when they came to Norristown, they were poor, didn't have too much money, and there was an Irish funeral director by the name of Joe Ferry, and when an Italian would die, he didn't have enough money for the funeral. He used to take out his money out of his pocket and bury him. Okay, so he said, look, he says, I can't be doing this all the time. Why don't you just get together? Okay, so they formed the MSS, which is called Maria di Shaka. It's the saint's name in Sicily, and they formed this organization so they have enough money to bury their dead. But that's how that MSS was organized, and that's how they kept on. Then they had a bar and they had food, and then each year they march the saint. It's August the 15th. They do it. In Italy, in Sicily, what they do, they get, I think it's about 100 sailors, regular Italian sailors, and bare feet, and they carry the saint, into the ocean near the Mediterranean. It's a religious type thing,
And that's a tradition that carried over from Italy to here. Each town in Italy has their patron saint. It's a saint that you almost could say the same as sacrifice. It wasn't literally sacrifice, but made sacrifices for that town, and it's the patron saint of that town. So they have a parade or a party, and it lasts usually a week in honor of that saint. And if you go to Italy in the summertime and you went from town to town, there would be one of these festivals going on in every single town. And you guys know from living in Norristown that there's different festivals, Italian festivals, during the summer to honor these patron saints. So if you go from here to Ambler to Lansdale, wherever else, there'll be a different parade or festival honoring these saints in each town. So that's a piece of tradition. Whenever you come from another country and come to America, each culture has brought their culture over to America. That's what makes America unique, because we balance all these cultures together, and we take a piece of that, and that's what makes us Americans. If we wanted to do the dinner, we do want to do the dinner at the senior suites.
How many in favor, want to have that dinner?
I want to eat free, good Italian food.
And then we'll select the, you know, they'll cook whatever it is, or then if you want your parents to bring a pot, you know, my wife is pretty good on lasagna, you know.
We select a date. You want me to just give
Well,
you
I'll
that
have to
date?
check
and
with
you can-
them, we can do it at, I don't know whether you want to do it at day or
We
night.
can do it at nighttime. We can do it at
Do it at
like
night?
a dinner time, like a 5 o'clock.
Well, you figure it out,
something.
figure out whatever you want to do, and I'll help you.